The city council meeting in about 1 minute. Luann, I think it's appropriate to interrupt. Guard,
Mayor, do you need something?
our pastor is here, so I want you to he may show up at the end. Guard, hello. The August 5th, 2026 meeting of the City Council is called to order. This meeting has been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the open meeting law. These proceedings are being video recorded and can be viewed live on City of Las Vegas TV on Cox Cable Channel 2. You could also watch the meeting live online and access other city content by visiting lasvegasnevada.gov/connect. The proceedings will be rebroadcast on City of Las Vegas TV the Wednesday of the meeting at 8 p.m. and also on Friday at 4 a.m., Saturday at 7 p.m., Sunday at 7 a.m., and the following Monday at 5 p.m. This building is protected by a state-of-the-art fire detection and suppression sprinkler system. If alarms should activate during today's meeting, please evacuate using the exits at the back of the chambers, out to the mezzanine, proceed out the double doors to the terrace, and down the back staircase. For anyone that has difficulty with stairs, please check with a marshal or fire official for assistance. Once outside, assemble on the northeast corner across the street from City Hall at Lewis and First Street. Employees wearing safety vests or our city marshals will inform you when it is safe to re-enter the building. For public comment related to the items on the agenda, citizen participation, and public hearing items, we have available a speaker card which you can complete and submit to the city clerk. Cards are available in the clerk's office or in the rear of our chambers. If you do not submit a card, it does not prevent you from speaking under public comment, citizens participation, or specified public hearing items. If there is anyone present today that is in need for hearing impaired equipment, please see the city clerk staff. And please note, if you parked in the parking garage across the street, a self-validation machine is located in the foyer between council chambers and the security desk you walk through to enter these chambers. You must have your ticket with you to use the machine. If you do not have your ticket, see security personnel when exiting for a validation card. Now, before we proceed with the agenda, would everyone please rise for the invocation given by Pastor Matthew Tice, Liberty Baptist Church, and please remain standing as he leads us in the pledge. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. Would you please join me for prayer? Our Heavenly Father, we come here today with grateful hearts that we live in a country that expresses the freedoms that you granted to us. We're reminded this morning that the freedoms we have come at great price. We're thankful for the military men and women who sacrifice here and abroad so that we could enjoy these wonderful freedoms. We're thankful for our police officers, who today are mourning because of the loss of one of our bravest and most courageous. As a community, we grieve that loss, but we together celebrate the freedoms that we enjoy because of their sacrifice. And so, Lord, with humility, as your word instructs us to, we come to you. As our founding fathers did from the origin of this country until today, we practice the tradition of taking a moment to humble ourselves before you, recognizing that if the Lord doesn't build a house, they labor in vain that build it. And so in all the proceedings that are going to go on today, times when we will celebrate, times when we will challenge each other with ideas, we'll look forward to the future with inspiration of what you could do through this community. We ask for your wisdom. We pray that you would bless us as a community. We need your providential care. We need your help, because without you, we can do nothing. And so, Lord, today, we invite heaven to bless us with your mercy, with your grace, and with your wisdom. We thank you for this wonderful place, this city that we call Las Vegas, how you built it out of a desert and made it a place that the entire world knows about. May we reflect your goodness in the proceedings today, and may your wisdom and grace be granted upon us. We pray this in the name of Jesus, who died, was buried, and rose again to pay for our sins. In his name we pray. Amen. Would you join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for joining us, Pastor. Before we proceed with our ceremonials, I would invite everybody to join me for a moment of silence. As you all probably already know, we lost one of our Metro officers. I cannot reveal his name because his family has not yet been informed of his passing, and we're waiting to make sure that we do this appropriately. And we've been asked not to mention his name, but he was 30 years old. He's a Marine, and he'd been with Metro since 1923. He died in the line. 1923, he's not that old. 2023, he died in the line of duty, and he will long be remembered for his service and his sacrifice. So let me lead you now in a moment of silence. And now we will proceed to the ceremonials. Good morning, everybody. Thank you. This is the ceremonial portion of our council agenda, and for our first item, Councilwoman Kelly will recognize our Citizen of the Month. Councilwoman?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to invite Kristen Pohl and her wife Debbie to come up and stand with me, please, as I read some comments. Thank you, Mayor. And it's my birthday, I'm going to just lean into the whole needing to read with glasses. We all remember the teacher who changed something for us, the one who opened a door or awakened a curiosity or saw something in us before we could see it for ourselves. The truly fortunate students, many of whom are here today, have a teacher like Kristen Pohl. I first met Chris in 1996, long before she became a teacher, when I hired her, which she loves to remind people, at the Taco Bell drive-thru. I was very pregnant and craving bean burritos. But I hired her at the Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce as my executive assistant. What neither of us understood at the time is how much we would learn from one another. I may have believed I was helping Chris find her path, but over the years, I came to understand something else entirely, that Chris was my teacher too. She taught me one of the most important things I know about leadership, that leadership is not what we say we believe. Leadership is how people experience us. It is not enough to tell people that they matter. They must experience that they matter. And it's not enough to invite people to contribute. They must know their contribution is genuinely valued. And as I speak to some of her students here and friends, they're nodding because here they are as a testament. It is not enough to talk about inclusion, empathy, or belonging. Those values must be felt in a way we listen, the opportunities we create, and in the choices we make. Kristen Pohl is the epitome of that kind of leader. Her students simply do not simply hear that they matter. In her presence, they experience that they matter. She does not merely tell them their voices are important. She creates opportunities for them to discover the power of their own voices. And she does not simply teach them to care about the world. She helps them understand that they have both the ability and the responsibility to change it. And she has never confined that calling to a textbook, which, by the way, we could add some jokes in there, or the four walls of a classroom. When students needed clothing, she created a student clothing closet. When they needed creativity and self-expression, she created a poetry club. When they needed community and belonging, she helped create a gay-straight alliance and a step dance team. Chris understood that belonging is not created simply by telling people they are welcome. Belonging is created when they experience that there is a place for them where they can be known, heard, and fully themselves. When students needed to be beyond the boundaries of their own experience, to be able to see beyond their own neighborhoods, she took them across the country and around the world. Let's raise a hand if you've been with Chris across the country or around the world. Absolutely. She founded Culture Flow so students would not merely be told to appreciate diversity, they would experience the richness of knowing and learning from people whose lives were different than their own. She created a speakers bureau, coached girls golf, and continually found new ways for students to participate and contribute and lead. That is what exceptional teachers do. It's also what exceptional leaders do. Chris also understands that education is not simply knowing about more, it's about becoming more. Her friendship with Holocaust survivor Ben Lesser strengthened her commitment to Holocaust education, human rights, and his message of resilience, tolerance, and hope. And I want to thank Ben's daughter, Gail, for being here to support Chris. In her thank you. Yes, let's do that. In her 20th year of teaching, Chris fulfilled a lifelong vision by creating a global diplomacy and genocide studies course. Through that course, students confront some of humanity's darkest chapters while developing empathy, critical thinking, civic responsibility, and respect for human dignity. And it's important to understand that no one asked Chris to teach this class. She was not sought out to teach it. What Chris did is create it, and then her principal said, okay, you have to get 23, 25 students to sign up, and then you can teach it. And she recruited students into that class so she could teach it, which is a testament both to her as a teacher and how she inspires, and to those students who knew that they would learn something, no matter the topic, from Kristen Pohl. Chris does not simply teach her students what happened. She asks them to consider what history now requires of them. Will they recognize the humanity of someone whose life is different from their own? Will they stand beside someone who feels alone? Will their actions reflect the values that they say they hold? Those are not only questions about history, they're questions about character, citizenship, and leadership. Chris, I once thought that I was helping you grow into this amazing teacher that you needed to become. The truth is, though, the way you answered that calling, you helped to teach me what it meant to be a leader. You taught me that leadership is not about having all the answers. It is about creating the conditions in which others discover their own voices, their own strengths, and their own capacity to make a difference. Your impact cannot be measured only in the programs you created, the courses you taught, or the journeys you made possible. It lives in the students, these young adults who are now felt seen, who now found a voice because of you. And it lives in everyone, myself included, who learned from you that leadership is not a title. Leadership is the experience we create for others. Today, it is my great privilege to recognize Kristen Pohl as the Las Vegas Citizen of the Month, and to join the mayor and my colleagues on the City Council proclaiming today, August 5th, 2026, Kristen Pohl Day in the city of Las Vegas. Thank you for becoming the teacher you were meant to be. Thank you for being one of my teachers. And thank you for helping generations of students understand not only that they matter, but that what they do with their lives matters even more. Congratulations, my friend.
I don't know if I can, but I'm going to try. Whoever this Chris Pohl is, she's amazing. The one thing that I did not say in the reception that I want to say is that from the very first day I started teaching, it has been a gift. As much as I've taught you, you've taught me back, and I am thrilled to have been your teacher. And the hardest thing, ask Debbie, the hardest thing for me to do is retire. I keep saying next year, next year, next year. And it's because of all of you that showed up for me today. That's what matters. You are amazing people, and I thank you very much.
Have you step in front of the podium? Yes. Oh, sorry, hold that, because we have more. But wait, there's more. You stand next to the mayor. You stand next to
All right, everyone, we'll go in 3, 2, and 1. I'll take a few. We'll go in 3, 2, and 1. One more, and 3, 2, and 1.
And then I'm going to invite all of the Come on, people in the back. You know you're in the back.
Let's go. Let's all you're in the back. Probably 3 rows.
Oh, this is 3 rows. There it is, those 3 rows.
Yes.
Anybody have good knees?
It's all in the back. Everyone find a window, please. All right. I'm gonna need. Okay. Let me see. Just make sure I can see everyone. I can't see you, sir.
Come on in. Come on, Joseph.
Right. Let's see if I can. Okay. All right, we got everyone. All right, and in 3, 2, and 1. I'm gonna take a bunch. We'll go in 3, 2, and 1. Couple more, and in 3, 2, and 1. All right, perfect. Thank you. Everybody, please. Good luck. Oh, thank you. I need my We're going to bring that podium back in. We have one more ceremonial. I'll cut it into pieces. Let's get out of their way. Okay. Always a teacher.
For our final item,
Let's go outside.
For our final item, Councilwoman Bruni is going to recognize an educator who is an incredible community partner. Councilwoman?
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So Councilman Kelly and I did not coordinate outfits or ceremonials, but here we are. And so just for background, August is back to school month, and like Councilman Kelly, I wanted to recognize a couple of groups that are helping our students be successful in the schools as we head back to school. So the first group is Dad in Schools, and at this time I would like to call up Dad in Schools founding director, Pastor Troy Martinez. The second group is Dad Inc., and I would like to call up Andrew Mason, lead pastor of the International Church of Las Vegas, who oversees the International Christian Academy private school and Dad Inc. program. Welcome. So briefly, Dad in Schools is a volunteer-driven initiative dedicated to enhancing school safety and student well-being through its guiding principle, prevention through presence. Pastor Troy Martinez founded Dad in Schools in spring of 2022 after he and others witnessed a rise in campus violence and behavioral incidents after the kids returned to school after COVID. Since launching in 2022, Dads in Schools has expanded to more than 27 schools across Clark County. Actually, it's in 40 right now, demonstrating the positive impact that engaged parents, grandparents, mentors, and community volunteers have in providing safer, more supportive, and connected school environments. And I'm pleased to say they have 3 participating schools in my ward, Seville Middle School, Darnell Elementary School, and Arbor View High School. With over 100 volunteers currently, and at one point they had more than 300, each Dads in School volunteers are trained and background checked. They provide a consistent, caring presence by engaging with students, supporting school staff, and helping to prevent bullying, reduce conflicts, and foster a culture of respect, responsibility, and connection. Dads in Schools volunteers don't police or enforce rules. Rather, they seek to provide a strong presence and accompany students on their journey each and every day. As such, you might see them greeting students as they walk across the crosswalk and enter school. You'll see them high-fiving the students in the hallways, hanging out with them at the lunchroom, and even playing basketball during recess. And also just standing and waiting with them as they wait to catch the bus on their way home. In short, Dads in School support students so that they have the opportunity to succeed academically, emotionally, and socially. The impact has been significant. At campuses where Dads in Schools is present, teachers, students, and families consistently report feeling safer and more supported, and data has shown significant reductions in suspensions, expulsions, and violent behavior. We are so grateful for their work. And if you're a dad or grandfather or uncle or TO or just a retired person with a few hours, they are desperately seeking volunteers. They've got about 100 right now in 50 schools. 40 more schools want them on their campus. So they're looking for about 100 volunteers. And so I'll let Pastor Martinez talk a little bit about some of that. We do have a proclamation. I won't read all of it. I'm just going to read the summary. Whereas Dads in Schools volunteers serve not as security personnel, but as trusted adults, positive role models, and mentors who help create safer school environments through community engagement and partnership in education. And therefore, the mayor and the members of the Las Vegas City Council hereby proudly proclaim August 5th, 2026 as Dads in Schools Day. And I'm just going to quickly recognize our second group, and then I'll invite each of them to say a few words. So again, the second group that we're recognizing is Dad Inc. Dad Inc. was founded in 2020 by the International Church of Las Vegas after receiving a federal Health and Human Services grant. The mission of Dad Inc. is to ignite fathers into great dads by equipping fathers with the tools, guidance, and support needed to strengthen relationships with their children, foster healthy families, and build brighter financial futures. This work is so critical because dozens of studies have shown that active dad involvement significantly improves children's academic performance, emotional well-being, and social behavior. Children with engaged dads experience lower rates of poverty and behavioral issues, higher cognitive and problem-solving skills, higher grades, lower risk of dropping out, reduced risk of adolescent substance abuse, and lower juvenile delinquency rates. Since its founding, Dad Inc. has served nearly 1,300 fathers here in Clark County, helping hundreds of dads complete its intensive 9-week program successfully and connect families to critical community resources and wraparound support services. Dad Inc. serves fathers from diverse backgrounds and life experiences. Dad Inc. relies on important community partnerships to execute its very successful program. Among its partners are the Clark County Child Support Division, Foundation for a Better Tomorrow, the Legal Aid Center of Southern Nevada, CSN, Shine a Light Foundation, Miracle Minds Therapy, and Bridge Counseling. And if there was any doubt as to whether Dad Inc. was having an impact here in our community, I'd like to share that just last month they received notice that they won an additional grant from the Federal Health and Human Services to continue their work through 2030. So again, thank you for doing the great work that you're doing in our schools by helping our dads become stronger and more engaged. So we also have a proclamation for you, and I'm just going to read the very end. Whereas the City of Las Vegas commends, I'll let you hold this, commends Dad Inc. for its unwavering commitment to strengthening families, promoting responsible fatherhood, empowering men to lead with purpose and integrity, and creating lasting positive generational change throughout our community. And now, therefore, the mayor and the members of the Las Vegas City Council hereby proudly proclaim August 5th, 2026 as Dad Inc. Day. Thank you, Pastor Mason.
So nice to meet you guys.
Pastor Ford, do you want to say a few words? And then we'll hand it
Well, thank you, Councilman Brune, and thank you, Mayor, and the rest of the council folks. And this is a wonderful city, and working together, it's amazing how the city, and I know the school districts out there represented, participate and allow the community members, which you see represented here, to serve directly on campuses and help our children and the staff. And we have wonderful, as we were hearing about teachers, we have a wonderful professor and Dr. Gar Jameson here present, who's one of the inspirations that enabled us back in just post-COVID when we saw that rise in violence. So what we have here is very unique and blessed by God, and so grateful that we have our community members that volunteer their time, get out there on campus, make it safer. And those, it sounds like a cliche, but those students really are our future. And so what we have here is unique and entirely blessed, and I'm very, very grateful to receive this on behalf of all of them. Thank you.
Pastor Mason?
Thank you so much for acknowledging us and giving us this opportunity this morning. We've been on a journey with this grant program, and it's been a team effort. As you mentioned, we're partnered with many agencies and nonprofit organizations throughout the city. And in our first 5-year round of the grant, we were able to take over 1,000 dads through our program, seeing significant results. We believe that we can strengthen families, we can strengthen marriages by strengthening fathers. And if you just look at the data just from our program, that will be reinforced through and through. I'm thankful that our founding director, Tim Vate, over here, Tim, give us a wave. Tim launched this program here out of our organization. And thank you to the city. Thank you for Mayor Berkeley's office. You guys wrote us a letter of endorsement as we were pursuing the second 5-year round of the grant that we got recently. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Let's take a picture. Dr. Jameson.
Everyone that thinks they should be in the picture, come on.
All right, everyone scooch in. Let's get some photos. All right, let's have you guys scooch in. Let me have a couple of you guys come over to the side, please.
Okay. I'll do whatever you guys say. Just let me know. Councilwoman can.
I'm sorry. The photographer will tell us. Yes. Perfect. Love that. Let me have you guys scooch in. All right. This looks good. And Councilwoman Kelly. All right, we got you. All right, everyone. I can see everyone. We'll go in 3, 2, and 1. I'm gonna take a few. We'll go in 3, 2, and 1. And one more. In 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Thank you guys. Nice to see you.
City council meeting will reconvene in 5 minutes.
Wonderful. Yes, I had a great time. Oh, I know.
He's on. Oh, is he on? Oh. Reconvene the meeting of the City Council. Agenda item number 7. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. The amount of time any single speaker is allowed may be limited. Please say which agenda item you will be speaking about. All comments made will be cross-referenced to those specific items. If anyone submitted a speaker card or who wishes to speak under this portion of the agenda, please come to the podium and state your name for the record. This is your opportunity to address the council, but the council is not able to respond or engage in dialogue. You may also address the council at the end of the meeting during citizens' participation regarding matters within the jurisdiction of the City Council. Although you are not prohibited from speaking during both public comment periods, we kindly ask that your comments are not repetitive. We will set the time at 2 minutes. Does anybody wish to come forward? Welcome.
Welcome.
Please state your name for the record.
Mighty City Council. Good to see you.
You too.
Looking good, looking good. My name is Eric Melchizedek Christ Nimrod. You can find Christ in the Bible conquering death. I'm talking about Agenda 36. Yes, I support 36 and 37. I support Las Vegas Rescue and Mission. Agenda 38. Yes, I approve the report on the death of prisoners in city jail. We must make sure that it's not reverting to an ICE situation or some sort of gulag. Yes, and I would like to I'd like to find out how to get a copy of that also. Yes, on Howard Hughes Company, LLC, Agenda 44. And on the boards and commission, yes, on agendas 53, 54, 56, 57, and 58. The Carter law firm is evil and unqualified. This is not a church. And I pledge allegiance to the truth. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's awfully nice to know somebody reads this agenda. Thank you. Does anybody else wish to speak at this time? Yes, please come forward. Welcome, and please state your name for the record.
Good morning, esteemed council members and mayor. Good to see you. Eric King, a longtime resident, a longtime community organizer and helper of lots of kinds of people. I'd like to speak specifically, I think it was item 36. Yeah. Our heroes, firefighters that save lives in all kinds of ways, every month, every week, who knows, probably every day. I'm not really sure all the numbers. We have family members, probably everyone in this room that's been affected by that. I know I sure do. And the grace and good fortune they bear to families, including mine, who's been through some pretty horrendous stuff, usually goes unthanked more than they deserve. And that's true for all of our heroes, all our first responders. So I'm really thrilled that there is continued support there. And I'd like to just maybe on a nuanced note, and I think I have less than 2 minutes, I got 1 minute, okay. On a nuanced note, in regards to the firefighters and their care and so forth, I just, I hope it's an additional value add that an insight I have of being a hero, and I've been that to many people in my life, unpaid, but saved lives and protected lives. There's a sort of, I guess you would call it, I'm doing my job kind of thing. A lot of citizens even have that help people, and I'm doing my job. So I just hope that there's some form of consideration and discussions for grant monies that come, for ways that they're supporting them, that helps them realize that it's paramount what they do. I'm sure they know that, but for them to go above and beyond what they normally do, there's a lot of people who never get to thank them, and I hope that there's some manner of support amongst what's funded to help them really identify that. I'm unaware of all of it, but I thank you for whatever care you lend in that way. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anybody else wishing to address the City Council? Seeing no one, we will move to agenda item number 8. For possible action, any items from the 9:30 a.m. session that the council, staff, and/or applicant wish to be stricken, tabled, withdrawn, or held in abeyance for a future meeting may be brought forward and acted upon at this time. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, Madam Mayor. Item number 51, appeal of conditions for a full alcohol on-premise license for Substance Nightlife LLC, doing business as Substance at 450 Fremont Street, Suite 270 in Ward 5. The request is to strike by our staff.
Thank you so much. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Please vote. Okay, let's see. I'm going to see if I can do this. I can't. Aye. Yeah, but mouse is failing me. Okay. Post. Motion passes. Agenda item number 9, for possible action to approve the final minutes by reference of the July 1, 2026 regular City Council meeting. Mayor Pro Tem, may I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Move to approve.
Please vote. Oops, I am trying. I'm an aye. Please post. Motion carries. Agenda item number 10. Item 10 will be trailed to be heard after the closed session. Now move to agenda item 11. Items number 11 through 50 are on the consent agenda, are considered to be routine, are recommended for approval by the departments, and may be enacted in one motion. Are there any other items the council wishes to bring forward? Mayor Pro Tem, may I have a motion for the consent agenda for items 11 through 50?
Yes, Madam Mayor, seeing no colleagues of mine wishing to pull any of the agenda items, I move to approve consent agenda items 11 through 50.
Please vote. I'm an aye. Thank you. Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 51 has been previously stricken. Agenda item 52, discussion for possible action on the proposed bill draft request to be submitted to the Legislative Council Bureau on behalf of the City of Las Vegas for the 84th session of the Nevada Legislature 2027 session. This impacts all wards. Mr. Robertson.
Go ahead.
Would you care to introduce your guest?
Well, luckily I'm standing between two men who need no introduction, but I will anyway. Thank you, Mayor and Council. Good to be with you this morning. My name is Randy Robinson, Director of Government and Community Affairs for the fabulous City of Las Vegas. Wonderful to be with you. Yes, the two gentlemen on either side of me, obviously our City Manager, Mr. Mike Jansen, and to my right is our Fire Chief, Chief Gray. We're here to talk about, as hard as it may be to believe, it feels like we just left there, but we're here to talk about the 2027 session in Carson City and recommend to you a BDR that the city should request in order to support some of our efforts. And I'll just keep going then. You've heard about this before. We've been talking about it for the last several months. Just quickly, our process that we go through every time we met with, starting in the beginning of the year, we met with each of our city departments, to discuss their experience, with our experience with them in the last session. Hey, what went well, what didn't go well, what are the issues that still remain, what are things that we need to go to Carson City to solve as opposed to solving them here at home. Once we get all of that done, we also meet with you, we meet with city management, and we bring all those ideas together, and then we throw them in the mix and see which ones start to rise to the top. Along the way, over the last several months, there was one issue that started to become more and more important, and that's our fire safety initiative, which is a property tax override that helps fund a portion of the work that our firefighters and paramedics do for our residents and visitors every single day. You heard a little bit about it during the budget session as you approved the budget. Mr. Jansen talked about some of the fire station projects that we have in the works in the coming years. And then you heard more about it as we got deeper into this BDR discussion. At the end of the day, this was the issue that rose to the top that is of critical importance, and there's a timing aspect to it, which sort of motivated us to bring that to you this time as opposed to waiting. The property tax, as you know, expires in 2031, but because of the growth that we have, because of our need to take care of our existing residents and constituents, because of the costs involved, the timelines involved that you'll hear from Chief with fire apparatus, with staffing and those sorts of things, it becomes pretty critical that we take this issue forward this legislative session to ask the legislature to help support us in that. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Jansen first. He'll take a couple of minutes to go through the first couple of slides. Then Chief Gray will take over, talk about the fire services that we provide, and then I'll wrap up with our final recommendation.
All right, thank you, Randy. Mayor and Council, good morning. You know, as far as I can recall, public safety has been the #1 priority for the city of Las Vegas, and you see the investments that the city of Las Vegas has made in public safety through our partnership with LVMPD, through the efforts that we've done with our fire department, as well as with our Department of Public Safety. And it goes so far beyond that. When you look at all the things we do for public safety, it includes things like traffic safety improvements. It includes things like crossing guards. When you look at the big picture of public safety, there's just so many pieces of our city that is dependent on having good public safety. And to that end, this conversation today really rose to the top for us, the need for our fire safety initiative to remain intact so that we can continue to invest in some very, very important projects citywide. And so I'd like to just walk you through a little bit about how we would use these proceeds from an investment standpoint, going ward by ward. So right now in Ward 1, we are going to bid later this year to replace the oldest fire station in the city of Las Vegas. That is Fire Station 103. Design, construction, land acquisition for the new site, all in, that's nearly $22 million to build that. For reference, that station was built in 1963, the current station. So that's our oldest, and it was definitely time to be replaced. It's worth mentioning this station is extremely active responding to motor vehicle crashes that occur on that stretch of the freeway that's immediately adjacent to this fire station. Going into Ward 2, we had quite a bit of conversation earlier this year with Summerlin. Howard Hughes has been a great partner with the city on the development of all things in Summerlin. When you go out to Summerlin West, it's really amazing to see just how many homes are coming out of the ground the further and further you go up the hill. And earlier this year, we negotiated an amendment to the development agreement where Howard Hughes Summerlin will be commencing the design, followed by the construction of a new fire station to service the growing Summerlin West area of our city. Their commitment is we'll set aside the land, they'll design it, they'll construct it, they'll even equip it with all the equipment. And when that is done, per the development agreement, that particular station is scheduled to be completed by June of 2030. which means we then have to equip it with about 20 additional staffers to have that station be capable of serving the community 24/7, 365. So you'll see there the cost for us to staff that station is about $4.3 million, and that's going to be projected in FY31. In Ward 3, earlier this year, we had a conversation on a planned addition to Fire Station 4 for a ladder truck. The demand for that ladder truck addition is really being driven by all of the mid-rise and much taller structures that we have being built within the service area of Fire Station 4. That is a piece of equipment that we partnered with the developers of Area 15. They contributed towards the acquisition of that equipment. That equipment is arriving very soon, and the staffing is covered by our budget this year. It's about $1.9 million to add the staff for that particular fire station. It's going to allow us to be much more capable for any type of fires that occur on some of our larger structures. That piece of equipment will take an additional 12 staff to provide that service. Moving into Ward 4, Councilman Plensky and I have had a lot of discussions on just all the things that are happening, particularly the real big one is the BLM 505, commonly now known as Sky Summit. That is a new 3,500 home development being developed by Olympia companies. They are moving as fast as they can to have those houses get the infrastructure they need to start coming out of the ground. That project is immediately west of where you see this fire station that's being planned at the intersection of Schaumburg and Tropical. At this location, we have BLM land reserved that's going to allow us to put the fire station there. In this year's capital budget, we allocated funds to begin the design of that project. But when it's built, the design, the construction, the equipment for that station, that's going to be about a $25 million project. It's scheduled to go to bid around 2029. So that it could be open in 2031, and that will then trigger an additional 20 personnel to staff that fire station to the cost of about $4.3 million per year. In Ward 5, we have talked with Councilwoman Summers Armstrong about just the history of Fire Station 1. The history that I'm alluding to is the fact that for the past 20 years, that fire station has been in the hit zone by an NDOT widening project. The Spaghetti Bowl and all of the improvements that have been planned over the years, unfortunately, they get to a certain point of design and clearance, and then the price gets too high, and NDOT has had to cancel that project twice, the freeway project, billions of dollars in infrastructure. So this fire station, which sits just below the Spaghetti Bowl, right off of the main interchange there, there's 500,000 cars a day going through the Spaghetti Bowl. This fire station not only responded to so many of those crashes, but also the 26 million tourists that are out on Fremont Street Experience. So extremely, extremely busy fire station. I think Chief Gray has said unquestionably this is the most busy fire station in the city. As just a point of reference, he was telling me earlier today in 2025, this fire station saw 14,000 responses from that fire station. But with that being said, that fire station is from 1984. It has a lot of deferred capital because the thought was it was going to be replaced by an NDOT project. That is not going to happen now. So we have to move forward with an initial project to do some repairs to it, but we're planning for a new fire station. That fire station is projected in 2031, at fiscal year, would be a $28 to $30 million fire station. The reason for that high price is it's a 6-bay fire station. Most of our others are 3 bays. In Ward 6, had a lot of conversations with Councilwoman Bruni about the need for an additional fire service component in what we call the northeast part of the city. And that's really the stretch from Decatur all the way over to about Buffalo. And so we've identified a site where we could put a fire station near the intersection of Grand Teton and Rainbow. In this fiscal year, we've allocated funds to acquire the property for that site as well as begin the design. But again, that's a $25 million fire station that would need 20 additional personnel. All told, you're looking at 3 new fire stations, 2 fire stations being rebuilt or replaced, and about 72 new personnel. That's what's in front of us, and to a large degree, the Fire Safety Initiative is what's allowed us to continue with these investments. On this next slide, just to give you a little more insight on how we've used the Fire Safety Initiative, the overall department budget of the fire department, all of the staff, all the equipment, all of the staff that maintains the equipment, you name it, the whole thing, the FSI covers about 9% of the overall fire department operational budget. We've used the receipts that come in from those revenues a couple of different ways. Generally speaking, 80% has been allocated towards operations, 20% towards capital expenditures. We've also issued debt. We've moved forward with a couple of bond issuances. However, right now we're in a situation where, because that particular revenue source is scheduled to end in 2031, we cannot issue any new debt to facilitate some of these larger projects. We've also used debt issuances to buy fire equipment, as well as to do various station remodels amongst our entire inventory of fire stations. In the future, our plan was to use a lot of these FSI capital revenue to replace a lot of our fire engines. You've heard the story, how long it takes from the time you put in that order to the time it actually arrives for use. It's a very long period, so we've got a very robust plan to order all those trucks over a number of years using these revenue sources. At the end of the day, this is the biggest takeaway for you. That is, this fire safety initiative, if it is not extended, if it is not renewed after its end date in 2031, we will lose $172 million over the 5-year period from fiscal year 32 to fiscal year 36. And that is a significant impact on how we go about investing in public safety. And with that, I'm going to turn over this next portion to Chief Gray, who really gives you a little bit more insight in just what a day-to-day is like with LVFR.
Thank you, Mr. Jansen, and good morning, Mayor and Council. Really excited to talk about something so important as how do we fund our fire department moving forward. I do want to emphasize a couple things that has already been said, but I just think it's important for you to hear it from the fire chief's perspective. One of the things that Mr. Jansen spoke about is the growth needed in your respective wards. One of the things I really want to make sure that you not only hear again, but also our constituents in the city of Las Vegas, is the fact that that is just a component of our growth strategy, meaning that we actually have other things that we will need to fund over the next several years. Things such as additional inspectors, additional battalion chiefs, again, additional things that help support all the functions associated with the fire department. With that being said, I do want to talk a little bit about the operational necessity of what we do from a day-to-day standpoint in the city of Las Vegas. One of the things that I do think it's important for you to know is that we impact lives each and every day. One of the things that I'm really always excited and also a little bit concerned about is the call volume. When I look at the fact that in calendar year 25, we actually responded to over 125,000 calls. That's a lot of responses for our men and women that are serving this community. But again, I think they do an outstanding job. One of the things that you're aware of, but I do want to make sure I say this on the record, is that about 85% of the call volume is EMS related. That's one of the things that we really prepare for, not just from the whole aspect of making sure we have equipment, but making sure that we have people appropriately trained. And although EMS responses are a critical component of what we do, we are an all hazards department, meaning that we have to respond to structure fires, vehicle collisions, and also specialty calls involving our bomb squad, our arson investigators, our hazmat team, and our technical rescue team. And when you start looking at the combined data of over 8,000 calls associated with motor vehicle collisions, another 4,400 calls associated with structure fires, and then also those specialty calls, again, very busy organization. One of the things I'm proud of is the fact that we've actually had third-party agencies look at our operations and validate that we do things exceptionally well. We're CFAI accredited, and we also have the ISO Class 1 rating. And I know you're all aware that because we have the ISO class rating, that actually allows the people that own property within our community to have lower insurance rates. So again, not just from the whole standpoint of public safety, but also economic development, our department contributes to that. The piece that I also want to piggyback on that Randy mentioned and Mr. Jansen did as well is we cannot wait. We have to be forward-thinking as it relates to making sure that the fire department grows in concert with our community. One of the things that I'd be remiss if I didn't mention is Mr. Jansen says it takes a long time. I'm going to be specific. When we order a fire apparatus, we are looking at a 3-year lag time from the time that we actually provide a PO until we actually receive and are able to put that unit in service. That is a 3-year time frame. So we cannot wait 2 or 3 years to say that we're going to put these units in service. We actually have to be proactive and make sure that the orders are put in a proactive manner. And then lastly, and certainly not least, from a recruitment standpoint, Mr. Jansen already mentioned that just with the growth that was shown on this slide, that we would actually need upwards of 70 employees ready to go within the next 3 years. To be quite honest with you, when we start recruitment from the time someone graduates, we're looking at an 18-month time period. And that's for them to be basically bare minimum, brand new firefighters. So at the end of the day, again, I would just say that this particular funding source is critical to our department, it's critical to our future, and it's also critical to right now. With that being said, I'll conclude by handing it back over to Randy.
Great. Thanks, Chief. Thanks, Mr. City Manager. You saw me pull out my phone. I wasn't checking my emails. I was doing some quick math based on that 125,000 a year call volume. Just while we've been talking, they've responded to about 10 calls.
Oh, my goodness.
So that's how busy, how much service we provide in the community. So you've heard from these two gentlemen the need, the funding side, the planning side, the CPI kind of related side. You've heard from Chief about the level of service that we're able to provide, the effect that has on the community. One of the things he and I have talked about in the past is the fact that our fire station is an ISO 1 rating, which helps. That means they're as well prepared to respond to all those different types of emergencies as possible. It's a national ranking. What that does also to the benefit of residents and business owners, it helps keep property insurance costs lower because of that ISO rating. Insurance companies know if there's a fire, if there's an accident, we have the staff, the resources to respond and take care of that and protect those structures. So that's an important part of the mix as well. So you've heard the need, the service levels, again, the funding strategy and why it's critical to get on this now. We really don't have the time to wait until it expires and then do something. As you heard Mr. Jansen say, we can't bond now as it is because we've only got 5 years left in that window. And we've got 40 plus trucks that we need, plus all those fire stations, not to mention the firefighters. So this is a critical issue for us. So that's why we are bringing to you this recommendation. Just the technicalities, we are allocated bill draft requests from the legislature. We have to turn one of those in or those in by September 1st. That sort of starts the drafting process. Then we'll go back and forth with LCB on the language, make sure that they're satisfied, we're satisfied. And then it'll be introduced early in the session as a pre-filed bill. So the clock has already started for us. So with that background, with that information, we're coming to you to make the recommendation that this be our #1 priority bill that we request of the legislature for the 2027 session. This would authorize you as the City Council to extend that fire safety initiative property tax override to keep that funding at the same level as it is now and has been for the last 30 years, no tax increase. Just continue it into the future so we can continue providing the service to our residents throughout the city. And with that, Madam Mayor, we'll conclude and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much for that most comprehensive presentation. Do any members of the City Council have any questions or comments? Yes, Mrs. Kelly.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you so much for explaining that so well. One of our responsibilities, and I think the opportunities that we have during this meeting, is to make sure we're articulating not only the need, which you've done so well, but also some of the numbers behind it. I remember many years ago, oh gosh, it was forever ago, but my dad had wanted to buy a new car, and he thought they cost, I think this was in the mid-'80s, something like $3,000, and they didn't cost $3,000. So a lot of people don't know how expensive fire engines are and those kinds of things, and I know that when one of my learnings, I was astounded to understand that. So perhaps, Chief, we could put some numbers behind so that the public, or at least at the very least on the public record, we give some context to, because we're throwing around millions. That's a lot of money, but please.
Thank you for that question, Councilwoman. Again, Fernando Gray, Fire Chief, for the record. One of the things that we have been alarmed about in the fire service is the rising cost of the fire apparatus. To be quite honest with you, a fire engine today will actually cost about $1.2 million, which is an extreme increase from over the last 5 to 7 years. A fire truck, which is the truck that actually has the extended ladder, those units are considerably more expensive. They're over $2 million. So the costs are really, really extreme, plus the whole concept of having to wait for an extended period of time. That's the reason why I think it's important that we get those orders in as quickly as possible and have a planning approach as it relates to how we're going to fund those particular resources.
Thank you, Chief. If I may, Mayor.
Yes,
thank you for that. I also, as I also understand some of my learnings have been, you know, the point about the upkeep. I remember having a conversation, it may have been with you or one of your deputies, about a kitchen that needed to be remodeled and kind of querying about what was necessary about that. When you look at, you know, one of the things that you've taught me during this time is how necessary it is in the preparedness. And I sort of, not sort of, but I consider it similar to my comments to our city clerk at our special election meeting when I thanked her for making sure that it was a solid election with no problems and being a free and fair election. There's a fragility in a status quo. And so as long as there's no major fire, you know, we take for granted. First responders sometimes can be criticized because they're, you know, we want them, we need them, but if they're just hanging around not doing much kind of a thing, and that's not really what happens. There's ongoing training and other things, but relevant to, and I'm sorry, I sound like I got off a topic, which I think I did for a moment. When there is a need, we need them there. And there are things that I've understood from you that need to be invested in for to make sure that the equipment is running, that it can be, is both the functionality and the ability for it to do the job. And I know we keep some engines for a very, very long time, trucks for a very long time. Just give me some more construct around the investment that's just necessary, because we are asking for, you know, we're not entitled to this. The voters approved it with a finite, was it the voters who approved it or the legislature? Okay, with a finite time frame. So we don't get to just take for granted that there's going to be an extension. And so it's really important to me that the public understands why we're asking for this.
Yes, ma'am. So one of the things I think it's important for everyone to hear is when you talk about investment, I do look at it as an investment. When we purchase an apparatus, again, we're looking to get roughly about 15 years of service out of that particular unit before it is actually, I'll just say, rededicated or redeployed to a reserve status. And then even after that, we actually have the opportunity to use that equipment as a training mechanism as well. So one of the things I will say is that our department, not just our mechanics, but also our firefighters, our driver engineers, our captains, our firefighters, our paramedics, they do a phenomenal job of making sure that the equipment is well maintained. That's actually what is in our DNA. That's what we do every morning, is making sure that the equipment is prepared and ready to go. And when we use that type of care towards the equipment, again, we get the extended service life out of it, so to speak. The other piece that you mentioned, I think it's really important for me to just really emphasize is this is a very, very busy fire department. And I don't mean to, again, disparage any other organizations, but our members are very busy responding to calls, but there's still the expectation is that they're going to be well-trained and making sure that the equipment is not only well-serviced and prepared to go, but also the facilities. You know, when you talk about the kitchen needing to be remodeled, as Mr. Jansen mentioned, one of our facilities is well over the 60-year benchmark. So at the end of the day, we work really hard to make sure that we exhaust all the use out of the equipment before we come to the elected officials, before we come to the manager's office and ask for replacement, so to speak. So I want to assure each and every last one of you that when we make a request as it relates to a new fire engine, new truck, or new fire stations, it's not something that is just predicated on me thinking that we need something new. We look at data, we look at analytics, we look at everything to make sure that we are making a good investment.
Thank you so much.
Exactly, thank you.
Ms. Bruni.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Randy, for the comprehensive overview. I'm looking for a sound bite, like a 3-sentence summary for our constituents. So my understanding is the process is the legislature this will be our BDR. The legislature, should they approve it, that gives us the authority to extend it, but property taxes will not increase. An approval simply means to maintain the dedication of some portion of the property tax to support our fire safety initiative. Is that correct?
Yes, for the record, Randy Robinson, that's absolutely correct. Well stated.
Thank you so much. Ms. Armstrong.
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor. Just want to clarify that the station in Ward 5 is not being replaced now. It is going to be some maintenance, deferred maintenance is what is in this budget, and a new station is in the future. Is that correct?
Councilwoman, I think Chief and I can tag team on this. So Fire Station 1, where it is today, there was a lot of deferred maintenance. And so we have initiated in this year's budget a rehab of certain components related to that fire station to buy ourselves some time so that we can work out a new location for a replacement fire station. And I say a new location because for 20 years, it's been on the hit list. There's been a big X on that fire station because it is so in the middle of all the freeway where it surrounds it. And so rather than doing a full rehab of that station, we think we're better served with finding a fire station relocation site. And one of the sites that we're taking a real good look at, you're aware of the new RFP that just went out for the land that we control on the east side of Las Vegas Boulevard at Stewart. We have about 12 acres there. In that RFP that went out, we showed a portion of that site being set aside for a public safety facility, and that was us looking at, working closely with the chief, where they have to respond to. Again, so many calls on Fremont Street. That site could be a very good site. So we haven't finalized it, but we're looking at it from both perspectives, both what we need now and what we need in the future.
Good. Ms. Allen Polensky.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't want to belabor the point. I think we're definitely all in support, but for the young people in the room and perhaps the folks at home, when you run for office, it's a little bit of open yourself up to the people, and you walk door to door, and you send messaging, and you talk at every opportunity, every ice cream social, anywhere you get invited to, and you talk thematically about how you think city government should look like. And when I did that 4 years ago, all I ever talked about was public safety. I told everybody I was the daughter of a police officer and the wife of a firefighter and the mother of a firefighter. And if I get elected, that the city will continue to focus on that and efforts would be very clearly driven in that direction. I feel every day when I drive to City Hall to come to work, how can I move our department forward? And this is critical to that, not only right now, but in the future, to ensure that we provide firefighter safety, fire training safety, uplift a wildfire team. There's a big list outside of just fire stations that we need to address. So I definitely open myself up to all of our senior leadership. 4 out of the 6 of us up here are former state legislators. And we got to go to Carson City and sing for our supper and explain to them why this is so necessary. So should you need any assistance, I'm sure we'll be talking 1,000 times between now and then. Please use us as a resource. This must happen to ensure the safety of the people of Las Vegas. So God bless you. Go forth and get this passed. There's a reason why we're offered 3 bill drafts, but we've decided to only pursue one because this one is the most important, fiscally wise and for our citizenry. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you so much. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just, want to emphasize key points about how we're continuing to grow as a city, and as stated, just about the growth happening in the northwest part of our city. We need to be equipped and prepared, and we know that just the big rigs by themselves, not even the staff to run them, are in the millions of dollars to procure. And my concern is if we don't have this revenue stream coming to us for this purpose, it's very hard for us as a city to just replace that revenue stream that we have come to rely on for 2 decades now or 3. I also want to mention that it was mentioned in public comment for us to take better care of our firemen and women. And the way to do that is for us to adequately have resources to then be able to take care of every single individual, putting their life on the line, meeting everyone at the time of their need, having an expeditious and very prompt answer to every 911 call. That's what's on the line here, and I think that's why it's so important that we need to stay this course. It would be nice if we had an augmentation and an increase in the property tax that we could get coming for these services, because we have stated everything is increasing. Inflation, the cost of procurement, the cost to construct, and people power is also something that we want to continue to value as a city and to compensate at appropriate rates. So for all these reasons, Mayor, I am so in support of this being our VDR for this session.
I appreciate it. Before you make the motion, Randy, I watched you in action at the legislature last session. I am very impressed by your abilities and the way you represent the city. So I think we're all looking forward to helping you in that endeavor. And I think we will have great success. I also think that having 1 bill draft is the appropriate thing to do given the importance of this. And Chief, I had the great pleasure of having dinner last night at Fire Station number 47 with the men and women that man the station. And if they are emblematic of the quality of your force, I think we're in very, very good hands.
Thank you, Mayor.
And they make a wonderful meal, by the way, I have to say. What was it? It was a Thai chicken delicious thing. It was really good. All right, is there a motion, Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I move to approve.
Please vote. Aye. Now I don't have anything. I'm an aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much, Mayor and Council. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 53, boards and commissions. Discussion for possible action regarding the appointment of nominee Matt Hodges to the Art Commission as one of the mayor's designees. Neil Portnoy was appointed as the mayor's designee in 2024 to fill the unexpired term of a previous member. His term has expired. Mr. Hodges is eligible for appointment and wishes to serve. I move to approve the appointment. Please vote. I'm a yes, and if somebody can come up and fix this, that would be great. Look, I don't have anything. Please post. Motion carries. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. Agenda item 54, discussion for possible action regarding the appointment of nominee Zachary Crane to the Building and Safety Enterprise Fund Advisory Committee. If appointed, Mr. Crane would fill the seat designated for a representative of the commercial development industry. Mr. Crane has a recommendation from the Community Development Department, is eligible, and wishes to be appointed. I move to approve this appointment. Please vote. Post.
We're going to have to take an oral vote. My system is now frozen.
Oh. Okay. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? You oppose? No, he's a yes. Motion carries. Agenda item 55. Discussion for possible action regarding the reappointment of Lindsay Lebo to the Ward 2 seat on the Planning Commission. Ms. Lebo was originally appointed to the seat in 2025 to fill the unexpired term of a member who resigned. She is eligible and wishes to be reappointed. Is there a motion, Councilwoman Kelly?
Yes, I move to approve.
Please vote. Or all those in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 56, discussion for possible action regarding the reappointment of Serena Kasama to the Ward 4 seat of the Planning Commission. Ms. Kasama was originally appointed to the seat in 2022. She is eligible and wishes to be reappointed. Is there a motion, Councilwoman Polensky?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to approve item number 56 and look forward to ushering Ms. Kasama into her second term as well.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 57. Discussion for possible action regarding the reappointment of Jennifer Taylor to the Ward 6 seat on the Planning Commission. Ms. Taylor was originally appointed to the seat in 2022. She is eligible and wishes to be reappointed. Is there a motion, Councilwoman Bruni?
Motion to approve the reappointment of Jennifer Taylor to the Planning Commission.
Please vote. And I'm an aye, although I have no circle. Post. Motion carries. Agenda item 58, discussion for possible action regarding the reappointment of Carolyn Mosdeen to the Ward 6 seat of the Senior Citizens Advisory Board. Ms. Mosdeen was originally appointed in 2019. She has a recommendation of the Neighborhood Services Department, is eligible, and wishes to be reappointed. Is there a motion, Councilwoman Bruni?
Yes, motion to approve the reappointment of Caroline Mosdeen to the Senior Community Advisory Board. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Shall we vote? Aye. I'm an aye. Please post. Motion carries. Agenda item 59. Recommending committee, bills eligible for adoption at a later meeting. Item 59, bill number 2026-27, will be heard at a later meeting. Agenda item 60, new bills. Items 60 through 62, bills 2026 to 28, 29, and 30 will be heard at the recommending committee meeting on Monday, August 17th, 2026. City Attorney, would you read the new bills?
Yes, ma'am. Bill number 2026-28, an ordinance to adopt that certain document entitled First Amendment to Cooperative Campus Development Agreement and to provide for other related matters. Bill number 2026-29, an ordinance to amend LVMC Chapter 6.50 to allow restaurants that are licensed to sell alcoholic beverages for on-premise consumption to apply for an endorsement to sell alcoholic beverages as a to-go item in connection with a meal, provided such alcoholic beverages are in sealed, tamper-evident containers, and to provide for other related matters. Bill number 2026-30, an ordinance to amend LVMC Chapter 19.9 related to standards for trash enclosures within the downtown Las Vegas overlay district and to provide for other related matters.
New bills 2026 through 28, 29, and 30 are assigned to the August 17th, 2026 recommending committee members, Councilman Knutson, Councilwoman Polensky, and Diaz. If any so designated are unable to attend, the clerk's office will coordinate finding substitutes as necessary at my direction. Thank you. Agenda item 63, closed session. Upon a duly carried motion, a closed meeting is called in accordance with NRS 241.030 to discuss the following item. A city attorney's annual performance review. Mayor Pro Tem, may I have a motion to enter into a closed session?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I move to approve us going into closed session at this time.
All right, shall we vote? Aye. I'm an aye. Oh, I have a dot. It's not working. Please post. Motion carries.
It's just now getting the mouse to
Yeah. All right, we're going to be taking a short recess as we go into closed session. We will be back as soon as the closed session has concluded.
motion to reconvene first?
I'm going to be doing that in a
Okay.
minute.
All right.
Thank you. We are back from the closed session. Mayor Pro Tem, may I have a motion to reconvene?
All right. Move to reconvene from the closed session.
Please vote. I'm an aye. I'm an aye. Motion carries. All right. This is a discussion for possible action regarding annual review of the city attorney, Jeff Doricat. Ms. Brown, do you wish to say a few words?
Good morning, Mayor Sue Brown for the Human Resources Department. I've provided you with data relative to Jeff's annual review, and I will leave it to him to make his presentation.
Thank you so much. Mr. Doricat.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The presentation was given in the back closed door, so I won't redo it. Overall, thank you all for your support, continued support, and the accomplishments of this past year for the office don't really fall on me. I give it all to the amazing staff and attorneys we have, and I recognize all of them for their contribution over the last 12 months. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there any member of the council wishing to say anything? If not, I will entertain a motion from the Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and I just want to say that having been here 7 years and Jeff is now our third city attorney, I am very, very pleased with his continued just execution of his role as the leader of our city attorney's office. I know he has a small but mighty staff of 59 employees. I know firsthand how he's been instrumental in recruiting really great people to come to work for us to fill a lot of the seats that many folks that had held them for 30 years, 20 plus years because of retirement have left vacant. I know that he could use a few more, but he's doing awesome with the folks that he has. And because he's doing such a great job, he's so well liked and respected by his team, I am going to recommend that we give him a 2.7% cost of living increase in alignment with the rest of the city's appointive and executive staff, a 4% merit increase to his base pay, and a 3-week admin leave.
Thank you so much, and that is in the form of a motion.
That's what I move to give him for this next year of him fulfilling his duties.
Shall we vote? Aye. All right, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, and thank you, Jeff, for
Thank
your
you, ma'am.
service.
Thank you all.
We appreciate it. Agenda item number 64. Item 64 is on the consent agenda, is considered to be routine, and is recommended for approval by the Department of Community Development. Mayor Pro Tem, may I have a motion on this consent agenda?
Without any discussion or wanting to pull this item, I move to approve this. Do you have a comment? This is the consent for community development. Okay.
Madam Mayor, if
Yes.
I may, I just want to make a minor adjustment to item 65.
I think we're on 64
64.
right now,
64.
but I will keep that in mind when we get to the next agenda item.
If you're gonna need 65, it's next.
I'm sorry, it is 64. My apologies. I'm trying to do two things at once and it's not working. On item 64, I would like to reduce that extension to 1 year as opposed to the 2 that is in the recommendation. I've spoken with the development team and they are here and we have come to an agreement.
Okay, may I have some input?
So, Mr. Lowenstein, can you articulate or read an amended?
Sure. Good morning, I think. It's still morning, right?
Yep.
Peter Lowenstein for the record. So the motion would just include an amendment to condition number 1 of the extension of time to reflect a year of 2027 versus 2028. And Mr. Celeste is here. He can acknowledge acceptance of the condition. Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor, council members. My name is Tony Celeste, address 1980 Festival Plaza Drive. Here on behalf of item 64, and yes, we can agree to that amendment to September 18th of 2027.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Will your motion incorporate that change?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I move to approve the agenda item 64 with the stated amended condition by the councilwoman.
Thank you so much. All those in favor of this motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye. Motion carries. Okay. Agenda item number 65. 26-0078-SDR1, abeyance item, site development plan review. This is a public hearing. Applicant owner Maria Emma Griselda Diaz for possible action on a land use entitlement project request for a proposed two-story, 5-unit multifamily residential development with waivers of Appendix F, interim downtown Las Vegas development standards, Area 2, on 0.16 acres at 617 North 10th Street, R3, medium-density residential zone, Ward 5, Ms. Summers Armstrong. The Planning Commission and staff recommend denial. This is a public hearing that I now declare open. Is the applicant present?
Thank you.
Would you state your name for the record, and please
Hector.
tell us about your project?
My name is Hector. I'm here with her. We're her general contractor. And we just like to ask for more time to comply with the trees and landscaping that it was asked by her. And we just apologize for the time being, but we will have it ready for the, I think it's September 10th. September 16th.
Thank
would
you so
appreciate that.
much. May I have a staff report, please?
Sure, Madam Mayor. The applicant had just requested to hold this in abeyance to September 16th. I don't know if you want me to do a presentation or just
All right, I think we've heard enough, Mr. Lowenstein. This is a public hearing. Is there anybody that wishes to be heard on this item? If not, I will close the public hearing. Any questions or comments from the council? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move for abeyance of this item until September 16th.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It hasn't been voted on yet, so you can thank us later. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now you can say thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item 66. 26-0113-SUP1, abeyance item, special use permit, public hearing, applicant Partners Auto Services LLC owner, Cardona and Cardona LLC, for possible action on a land use entitlement project request for a proposed motor vehicles part sales, installation, and repair, motor vehicle repair, major use at 1250 Northeastern Avenue, Suite Number 3, C2 General Commercial Zone, Ward 3, Ms. Diaz. The Planning Commission recommends approval. Staff recommends denial. This is a public hearing that I now declare open. Is the applicant present?
Yes.
Would you state your name for the record, and please tell us about your project?
Okay, my name is Fermin Miranda. I represent Partners Auto Services. And I understand the hearing has been postponed to September 2nd.
Is it?
Yeah.
So, Madam Mayor, if I
Yes.
may, I
I'm
know
requesting, I'm sorry.
I know my
I'm
staff
requesting.
has exchanged conversations prior to the agenda item arriving to us. We hadn't heard from them. We haven't met. They don't know what my pain points are. And so therefore, I'm going to, just out of courtesy, since we haven't connected prior to this hearing, I'm going to make the request to hold this item in abeyance until September 2nd.
All right, is that okay?
That's my motion.
That is
so
your
that
motion.
we can connect.
And may I urge you to please get in touch with the city councilwoman so that you can hear her pain points?
Yes.
We'd all appreciate that, actually.
So that's my motion, Madam Mayor.
All right, all those in favor of the motion we're obeying
To
until the 2nd
September
of...
2nd.
Okay. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. We'll see you on the 2nd.
Thank you so much.
Agenda item 67, reports and presentations. Report by Michael Cunningham, Acting Director of Public Works, regarding the City of Las Vegas 10-year capital improvement plan for regional flood control district facilities. This impacts all wards. Welcome, Mr. Cunningham.
Hello, good morning, Mayor, Council. For the record, Michael Cunningham, Acting Public Works Director. Today I'm going to be giving you an update on our 10-year capital improvement plan for our regional flood control district facilities. First, to start off on the importance of this program, so here's a lovely picture back in 1985 of the Charleston underpass, and you can see there's a lot of floodwaters there. We have a lot of storm drain projects that are actively on Charleston, and we've done them over the years. And as you may be aware, July through September is our monsoon season, so this is the time when we are most susceptible to experiencing floodwaters like this. And just last month, Regional Flood Control District did proclaim July as Flood Safety Awareness Month. And so just going to give you an update on our program, talk a little bit about where we get our funding, some of the projects we're actively working on, some of the projects we're going to be working on in the future, as well as some other components of the program. So first, to start off, our flood program within Public Works, there's a lot of things that our flood division does. They work on technical drainage studies review for private developers. They coordinate with FEMA on federal emergency flood maps. We do the plan reviews. What we're going to be focusing on today is the Regional and Neighborhood Flood Control Planning Program, and that's our 10-year flood program that we work with Clark County Regional Flood Control District on. So where do we get our funds for this? So we get 1/4 of the 1% sales tax from the sales tax that's collected from the county. These funds are used to fund all of our capital improvement projects, our local drainage projects, and our maintenance and operations of all our flood control facilities that are within our jurisdiction. For fiscal year 2026, that was about $160 million that we had funded and programmed through the program. And in fiscal year 2027, it's estimated to be around $164 million. So once we know the funding, similar to any other capital improvement program, we got to figure out a way to prioritize our projects. There's a lot of projects that need to be done, but we need to know which one's going to come first, which one's going to come second. So on the screen there, these are the 10 criteria that we use every year as we go through our capital program to prioritize these projects. The 4 on the left are weighted a little bit heavier than the ones on the right. And then the top 2, population affected and assessed land value impacted, are weighted the most. And these are to protect life and property for the residents within our community. And then once we know that, we need to know how we're going to get our prorated share of the funds. So on this graph, it shows the breakdown for each of the jurisdictions. Once the funds are collected, it's divvied up amongst the jurisdictions. We get 32.7% of those funds, and these are actually based on the amount of cost to finish out the regional facilities within our jurisdiction. So it's not population-based like a lot of the other prorated ones are. These ones are specific to the amount of facilities that we have to build within our jurisdiction. These are done every 5 years, so this graph is actually based on the 2023 Master Plan update. The next one is anticipated to be completed by 2028, and so you'll see our percentages change at that time just because we have completed some of our facilities, so our percentage rate would most likely go down. So here's a breakdown of the total funding. So you can see in the whole program for the whole valley, it's just over $1.2 billion in total. City of Las Vegas' share of that portion is $370 million. And then we use that we program it for the next 10 years to figure out which projects we would want to focus on. Some of the projects we've already completed to date using this program, we've done 22 detention basins. We've done about 34 miles of improved open channels and storm drains. And total cost for all these projects is right around $910 million. And just to get kind of a scale of the program within the city, the map here showing all the lines in blue are all the facilities that we have completed to date. The little lines in red are actually what's programmed in our next 10-year CIP project. And then the items in green are facilities that are needed, but they're outside of our 10-year program. So they'll eventually come and slowly get incorporated into our plan. So now we're going to go over some of the design projects that we have actively working on. These ones have already been programmed, and we're working on them, and we'll be asking for construction funding later. So the first one's our Owens Avenue Interceptor. This is a storm drain facility that goes from the Las Vegas Wash west until we get to Main Street. And then we have the Stewart Avenue storm drain system, which goes from the Las Vegas Wash West until we get to Eastern Avenue. And then up in the north and the northwest, we have the Farm Road project, which is along, goes from TP to Hualapai Way. And then we have the Alexander Road project, which goes from Torrey Pines to Decatur Boulevard. And then that one also includes a local facility that goes north in Leon Avenue to pick up a low point that's existing there today. And then last of our current design projects that we're working on is the Brent Lane system. So this is a storm drain system that's in Brent Lane. It goes from Durango west to El Capitan, and then it goes from Brent Lane north to O'Hare within the El Capitan alignment. And then we move on, we have a couple projects that are actively in bid and some that are in construction. So the first one via Olivero, that one we actually just had the bid opening and we're getting an increase in funding to match that low bid. So that one should be starting construction here shortly. Charleston Boulevard, Essex Circle to Lindell Road, that one is actually finishing up and we should have substantial completion here in the next month or so. The one that everyone is probably very familiar with is the Charleston storm drain system that is goes from Maryland to Main Street. We're trying to get out of there as quick as we can. It's a very big project, but we're still on track to finish up next year with that one. And then the last one that we have going is the Iron Mountain Road project. This one is out in the north. It goes from Bradley and then up Decatur and drains into the existing basin out there. And then, so those are all the projects that we're actively working on. Within our next 10-year plan, we have what's called first year eligible. So these are projects that we are projecting to start design or construction in the next 3 years. We have a total of 6 of them. There's 4 construction projects and 2 design projects. They are, the first eligible total is $135 million. So within the next 3 years, those projects would be $135 million out of our $371 million total allocated within our CIP plan. 3 of the construction projects are the ones that we just talked about that are in design. So that's going to be the Stewart Avenue project, Alexander Road, and the Brent Lane drainage system. So those finishing up design within our CIP will ask for the construction dollars to continue those forward. And then we have 1 construction project that we'll talk about and then 2 new design projects. So the first new design project is a facility that's in Grand Canyon Drive. As you can see, it's going to connect to an existing facility that's in Grand Canyon just north of Lone Mountain. It'll connect to that facility and it'll go north to Hammer Lane. And then we have the Jones Boulevard is, again, an extension of an existing system that's in Ann Road. That's going to run from Ann Road and it'll go north to Tropical. And then we have 1 last project that is in the design construction phase. This is actually in the North Las Vegas jurisdiction, but it's a basin that we manage, and so it comes out of our funds, and then they do the management and construction of it, and that's the Lake Mead Carry Detention Basin outfall pipe. So now once we do that, so that's all the construction, that's all the new construction, all the existing construction, all the new design and the future designs. The next piece of our CIP program is our annual maintenance budget. So on the graph here, you can see it's just a breakdown of our maintenance costs over the years. As you can see, each year it slightly goes up as we build more facilities. Like any other facility that we build, there's a maintenance cost associated with maintaining that facility to ensure that's going to function the way it's intended. There's a couple anomalies on the graph. So if you see in 2020, 2019 to 2020, it went down and then it shot back up. I think everyone knows what was happening in that time frame. So it was a little blip in the system due to the COVID, but we were able to get back to our normal maintenance budget. And then if you go down to 2024, you'll see a big jump from 23 to 24 and then back down in 25. In 24, we had a special project for the Gowan basins, the south and the north basins. We funded it out of our maintenance budget, but it was a one-time request to fix some sediment issues in there, and then we were able to get back down to our normal maintenance schedule, and so that's why there was a bump in that year. You'll see this year, just last month, you all approved the $4 million for our maintenance budget this upcoming year. How we develop that is every year when we're going through this capital improvement plan, we identify all the facilities that's within our jurisdiction and then all the maintenance items that are needed to maintain that system. Whether it's flushing the storm drain system, it's reshaping our debris basins, it's clearing out vegetation, it's fixing storm drains, it's doing assessments on our storm drain. All those items are identified in our plan, and then each of those tasks obviously have a cost associated with it. When we get down to the end, that's the total we anticipate that year needed for maintaining the facilities. This year it's $4 million, and then as I mentioned, we would anticipate each year as we bring online more systems, it'll slightly go up, but then our cost to design and construct new ones would be going down. And then the last piece of our plan is our local drainage projects. So these are smaller systems that connect to the big regional systems. The Leon facility in Alexander is a good example of it. It's a percentage of our 10-year capital plan, so it's up to 2%. We always don't use the full amount for the local drainage projects, but we can use those funds to develop them and design them and construct them. The Regional Flood Control District covers the first quarter mile from the regional facility, and then anything beyond that, there's kind of a cost share, so there's 50-50 split, and then if we get too far, the city would cover the full amount. In 2027, our budget amount was just over $3.2 million. And then you see, going forward, the 2% base budget is just a projection based on what we would need for local drainage facilities. As the projects come up, we kind of have an idea of what our limits are for these local facilities. So that brings our total estimate for the 10 years for our local facilities to just about $36 million. And with that, I will just leave you with a reminder. It is our monsoon season, so stay away from floodwaters because waters does always win.
Yeah, we'd like some water.
And with that, I can answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cunningham. Do any members of the council have any questions? Okay, Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. Cunningham, thank you for the information. If someone's been going through a lot of painful storm drain work, it's my ward. So I was paying attention to what's coming. I just wanted clarification because your slide highlighted Owens, but then in your closing points, you mentioned Stewart. And so now I'm a little confused if are we going to do work on both avenues, Owens and Stewart, or is Stewart so if you could just clarify for me, because, oh, there it went. I just focused on Owens for some reason. I didn't really look at the Stewart. But are both of these going to then move forward?
Yeah, so these are both in design now, and so they'll both move forward into the construction phase. And then I can get you more timing if you want on the schedule specifically, but they would both be moving forward.
Yeah, I think it's super important for us to over-communicate as soon as we know what the window may look like with especially the business corridors, because Owens and Stewart have businesses that will obviously going to be impacted by the road work. So I think the more we tell them it's coming, that it's going to come, so that they're not caught off guard when all of a sudden all of the tearing up of the street is happening right in front of their business location. So really appreciate if we can just do our best in over-communicating.
Yep. Yeah, and we'll work with the contractor and make sure that the businesses and the residents are aware. And then on a lot of the contracts too, we have been bringing on a PIO officer that is in charge of public information and making sure flyers are sent out, notifications are sent out. And then we work with communications a lot to make sure we're sending out media releases when we have a lot of big shutdowns, especially when it's along the major arterials and major intersections. So we will for sure make sure that we're doing that.
And last question is, when do we expect the Charleston Storm Drain Project, that's Maryland to Maine, to be out of our hair?
So we are still projected for Q4 of next year. So it's still got a little bit of time, but we're on pace and we will get it done as quickly as we possibly can.
Thank you, sir.
That is so painful to hear. Ms. Summers Armstrong, did you wish to speak?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just had a couple of questions. First, and one comment. In addition to flyers, I think, especially in our business corridors, that some personal door knocking would also be a good idea. If you could include that in whatever PIO outreach that you all are doing. I saw some of the list. I didn't see smaller arterials. Are we having any hot spots where we're seeing, it's been very dry, but in past years that have caused any property damage to residential, or are all of these things really tied into the arterials?
A lot of our regional facilities are along the major arterial alignments. We do have those local drainage facilities that we look at. We're allowed one active project with regional dollars to use, and then we can do some general fund dollars. I can get with the team and see if there's any local projects that are coming up. I know the one for sure is the one on Leon that we've discussed before. So that one, we're going to have that extension. It'll catch that low point from Mosaic Development. So that one's an example of a local facility that's part of this plan. But I can get more information from you on if there's any other local facilities that we've seen that we will be needing funding for in the future.
Yeah, that's been a hot spot for Ward 5 for a while, and I'm happy to hear that that's at the top of the regional list. That's great. And when we're talking about letting contracts for all of these types of things, is there a annual, every 5-year list that gets put together so that we can spread the wealth and make sure that we have as many contractors as possible participating, especially our small businesses?
Yeah, and most of these projects, due to the size of them, are going to go through the competitive bid process. So those ones would go through. We also do have an SOQ list for a lot of the some consultant work that we do every 2 years. We actually just recently finished that list, and so there's a new list out of companies, and we try to mix up the work to make sure that everyone's getting a fair share of this work.
This was a report only. No action is required. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Agenda item 68, set date on any appeals filed or required public hearings. I would instruct the city clerk to set the public hearing dates and appeals from the City Planning Commission meetings and dangerous buildings or nuisance/litter abatements.
Will do, thank you.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 69, citizens' participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the City Council. No subject may be acted upon by the City Council unless that subject is on the agenda and is scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, come to the podium, give your name for the record. The amount of discussion on any single subject, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed, will be limited to 2 minutes. This is your opportunity to address the council. Council is unable to respond or engage in dialogue. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak under this portion? Will you state your name for the record?
Hi, I'm Shoshana. I'm a resident. I'm here to urge the council to end invocations, the praying, because this is not a church. In Arizona, 6 Mormon kids were raped by their Mormon father for years, and bishops from the Mormon church knew about it and did nothing. And the sexual abuse continued. So Arizona recently passed a law so the clergy can refuse to report it to the police as long as it is a confession from the abuser. The father confessed to the bishop he was sexually abusing his children. The church did nothing but protect him. We have the same law here in Nevada. In Las Vegas, the clergy you bring in here can refuse to report to law enforcement about gruesome crimes against babies, toddlers, and school children as long as the monster who did it confesses to them. Who can conceal these crimes of this child abuse? Our local clergy, such as Pastor Tias, Reverend Floyd, Deacon Garcia, Pastor Box, Elder Thomas, Pastor Adams, Reverend Parker, Reverend Fogg Jr., Reverend Dendy, Reverend Ellis, Pastor Harris, Rabbi Goodman, Pastor Menchaca, to name a few. What crimes can they conceal? Incest, sexual exploitation, genital mutilation, sadomasochistic abuse, human trafficking, pornography, burning, cutting, biting, causing internal bleeding, fracturing their bones, and murder. The most innocent and vulnerable, the babies, toddlers, and the school children of this community, are shielded by the cloak of the clergy that you invite to these meetings. Face your children when you go home today. Honor the separation of church and state. Remove the prayer, remove the invocations, take religion out of here. And please stop inviting the clergy who can come here and pray for you, who are able to conceal the crimes of child abusers, child rapists, and child murderers from law enforcement. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone else wishing to speak under this agenda item? Yes, please state your name for the record.
Again, good morning, everyone. Eric King, longtime resident. I'd like to speak on behalf of trees, which we all love. We live in a hot rock here, which is getting hotter by our own hand and those above. And if I could make what might be the best sense out of how to allocate consideration and funds in the future, since 10 years from now, it's most everyone that's either is or is not a betting person in this town would say it's probably going to be hotter, drier for longer every summer here. I don't know of any scientists that are saying otherwise. And given that that's the case, and we have a lot of vulnerable species that the city has invested enormous amounts to plant, nurture, grow, and maintain, that are dying off and will continue to die off as it gets hotter and drier. I had just spoken with our Chief Gray about a proposal I'm drafting in the works to help hydrate the community more fully, in particular trees that are nearest to where most people congregate and or travel. Those would be focused items. And so I'm not sure who best to get it to when I have something that would make sense to present. But I would cherish the opportunity to find out who that may be, as many lives will be impacted if those trees dry out, die, and become firebomb potential, as well as other safety factors, falling on houses and things like that. So we don't want any of that to happen. We'd love to have a lot more trees. I'm sure everyone is in agreement. If we had unlimited water, we already would. We don't. We're figuring that out. So I cherish the opportunity to help add value there. And I'd like to volunteer my design skills for any of the council members who think in their ward a park of some place would be good to be more hydrated with stormwater. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anybody else that would like to speak? Welcome, and please state your name for the record.
Mighty City Council. My name is Eric Melchizedek Christ Nimrod. Nimrod means valiant, strong in the Hebrew language. I'm hoping that you're using artificial intelligence to figure out how to save the water, because Lake Mead is getting low, very low, and you're building all this construction. There'll soon be no water to put out the fires in this construction, and there will be no water to feed the people. Buses are weapons of mass destruction. On July 28, 2026, while exiting a Deuce bus, number 25805, at bus ID 1354, the bus driver closed the door on my right arm at approximately 1:15 p.m., causing me pain. Plus, I was carrying my backpack in my right hand. The door shut fully closed on my arm, and I could only remove it after the door reopened. I still have pain. There is a bus video of the incident. I tried to make an incident report to the RTC on July the 29th, but all day, every time I would call, they would put me on hold and would not return the call. I also tried many times to make an online written complaint, but it would not accept my phone number. On Thursday, July the 30th, I went to the RTC Commissioner's headquarters at 600 Grand Central Parkway, but the receptionist said I could not make a complaint there. They advised me to use the red phone in the lobby, which I found out the number was calling 702-228-7433, and I was put on hold. So what I'm doing right now, I called a whole bunch of numbers, and they never returned my call, put me on hold. They know my number. So what I'm doing, okay, I'm presenting my complaint now to the city council in person.
I would suggest to you, and you know this, that you need to talk to the Regional Transportation Commission. I know you go to all the meetings. I think this is an important thing for them to hear.
I think so too, and you're on the Regional Transportation Commission.
Yes, I am.
You know, so I went to the headquarters and I couldn't make a report there.
I think
that makes no sense.
I think when you speak to the director at the next RTC meeting, explain this to her and she can remedy that situation. And thank you so much.
Speak to who?
MJ.
Oh, MJ. Okay, yeah, MJ, I like her. Okay.
Your
This
2 minutes
present-
is up.
I'm presenting it to you, but it will do no good.
Do no good.
Well, it's on record.
I think yes, your
it's on
course,
video.
your course of action would be the Regional Transportation Commission, of which 2 members of the city council sit on. So I am quite certain that that would be your avenue to correct this situation.
Oh, I'm planning on going there too.
I will look forward to seeing you.
My complaint that the buses are weapons of mass destruction.
Thank you so much. Is there anybody else wishing to address the city council at this time? If not, we will move on to agenda item 70, council emerging issues, discussion regarding potential items for future city council agendas or awards. Any discussion must be limited to whether or not the proposed items shall be placed on a future agenda, and no discussion regarding the substance of any proposed topic shall occur. No action shall be taken. Do any members of the council have any topics they would like to bring forward under this item? We will now move to agenda item 71. Council members' recognition comments may be made by individual council members during this portion of the agenda, but they will not be acted upon by the city council unless that subject is on the agenda and scheduled for action. Let's hear from Councilwoman Summers Armstrong first.
Thank you very much, Mayor. We'll start with the Southern Nevada Housing Policy Forum, which happened on the 20th of July. I was very happy to attend. There were lots of elected officials there, the mayor, MPT was there. We really had a wonderful time learning and contributing to the improvement of housing policy, and look forward to their conference coming up in September. On the 24th of July, we had Youth Safe Night. That was at the Wealthy Place Ministries. They created and gave the community a safe place to spend with their families, gather school supplies, and enjoy the final days of summer. The atmosphere was full of connection, care, and support, and the Ward 5 office was grateful to be able to be part of this event as well. Next, I want to sort of divert a little bit to the next presentation. We have a group of young people here in the audience from our workforce development group. Is this a video? No? All right. So as you can see, we are talking about workforce development. The presentation is kind of lengthy, but I'm going to kind of cut it down. So this is more than just a summer program. Our young people are here in the audience. If you all would stand up and kind of wave a little bit. They gather at the these young folks are being taught tech. And if you go to the next slide, please. They are learning about IT in the workforce. If you can go to the next slide, please. There is a video.
Oh, cool.
So they have a relationship with the NBA Summer League, and they did some awesome, well, I did one too, wasn't so great, painted some basketballs that were given out during the Summer League. But what they're really doing is showing how IT and how tech fits into our current workforce. And these young people are knee-deep in artificial intelligence, digital literacy, game development, esports, technology, and they're taught financial literacy and career readiness. I am super, super proud of them. As you can see, they are attending conventions and esports information, and of course, Summer League. Who doesn't like basketball? I certainly do. And they are being mentored by Ed. If you'd wave your hand, he is there. He's a city employee who has really taken this project to a different level. And the NBA is really supporting this, and we are super excited for what these young people are doing. I think we've got a couple of folks going to college who's going away or are currently in college. But even if they're high schoolers, can you imagine if this information was available to us as youngsters? I'd probably be a lot further along. I don't know what I'd be doing, but maybe something else if I had learned some of the things that they're learning. So we're pretty proud of what they're doing. And they made a video for the NBA. It was shown during a halftime at the NBA Summer League. Any sound?
Look at you. Man, I know what your problem is. You think everything only matters on game day. Well, it don't. Everything matters. Every second. Every rep. Every shot. It all matters. See, my boy? I've been telling you. Now.
At the NBA Summer League.
Awesome. So all these amazing things are happening right at the WETC campus. They have a space there, and I'm just extremely proud of these young people, proud of their teachers, their instructors, their support system, Machina's here, and others. This is the beginning. This is how we get started, and this is how we support our young people to participate fully in this next iteration of technology. So thank you all for providing that information and for the notes that I didn't read very well. Super proud of you, and I hope that you will continue participating. And we're looking for you to be employees at the city to help us do better and just do great things. So thank you so much. So we'll move on to the next slide. On the 28th of July, we were at we toured the Ruffin Family Clinic with volunteers in medicine of Southern Nevada. We had a wonderful visit with them. The big hug is I didn't realize that one of my friends from church actually worked there, and I was surprised to see him. But they do beautiful work there. They sent us data, the thousands of people that they serve for absolutely free. Thank you so much to Gar Jameson and the staff there, the volunteers, for doing great things. They are located at 1240 North Martin Luther King Boulevard. If you know folks who need their services, please send them. They will be well cared for and loved. On the 28th, I was the keynote speaker at lunch for the Real Estate Brokers Women's Council Annual Convention and Scholarship Luncheon. And they tricked me and gave me an award. I started crying and messed up my lashes. I was totally caught off guard. These women give scholarships. They are realtors. Realists is what they call themselves. They make sure that folks from all backgrounds have an opportunity to have access to home ownership. They give out scholarships. They did a Where Are They? From some of the young people who had received scholarships over the years, and we were truly impressed by who has been through that program and made great careers for themselves, educators, realists, and all kinds of other things. So thank you, NAREB, for the honor. On the 30th, I was with Brooke Neubauer and Mimi over at the Just One Project. I was on their podcast. I have no idea what I said, but I think that it came out all right. If nothing else, it's always wonderful to be at the Just One Project. It is in Ward 5 as well. They do beautiful work, and we are proud to have them as partners. On the 30th, later in the day, we were again in West Las Vegas, at the historic West Side School. YDSI hosted a thank you luncheon for the postcard a luncheon. It was amazing. Dr. Malich had someone take pictures of historic places with cultural impact in Ward 5, and they are produced right here in-house with our government affairs team down in the basement, those guys who are doing all this great printing for us. Amazing postcards noting the beautiful and historic places in our community, and we said thank you to them. They're allowing us to give those postcards away, and then they can take and use the pictures, not sell, but use them for their advertisements. So thank you, community leaders. The 31st, we were at the Doolittle Active Adult Center. We rededicated the entry. It is now sliding doors, easy access for our seniors to get inside. Thank you so much, Parks and Rec and our facilities team, for really putting together a beautiful, look at the numbers are big, the print on the building is big, and it was early in the morning and they were dancing by 9:30, and I was tired because I could not keep up with the steps. So thank you, everybody. And finally, on the 31st, we had our final presentation of the PVAC's performance. It was the 30th year that this has happened. My kids started there in 1999. The program started in 96. Dr. Marsha Robinson, we gave her a proclamation for 30 years of putting on this amazing event. It was a packed house. They had performances on the 31st and the 1st. It's a wonderful event. The kids learn so much, and we will have dancers, Parks and Rec people, and all kinds of amazing talent come out of these facilities and contribute to our communities in the future. Just real quick, upcoming stuff. If you're interested in training, CSN, Trade Technician Program, is coming the 3rd of August. We've got the Wendell P. Williams Back to School Bash on August the 7th. The Just One Food Project will be having a kickoff farmers market on the 25th at Lorenzi Park at 8:30 a.m. And then the Southern Nevada Health District is reminding families, please have your children immunized. We are seeing a resurgence of measles. It's not something we want to see. We've got information on that. And as always, our final slide. Thank you to my team, Nora, Julius, and Ara, for all that you do, for pitching in when I can't make it, and just representing Ward 5 in the city of Las Vegas beautifully everywhere you go. Thank you. Have a great day.
And I noticed that you didn't highlight our visit to the Peruvian restaurant.
That is not released yet, Mayor.
Oh, never mind.
We're waiting for comms to do the film, and then we'll put it in the next one. It should be done. But we went to Moya, which means the tender cut. I ate there twice in one day. I had to take my husband back and Ara for her birthday, because her birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday, Ara, on Bonanza in Rancho.
Birthdays,
It was
on
amazing.
behalf of all of your colleagues on the city council, we want to wish you a very happy birthday.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Ms. Alan Polensky.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have this beautiful intern next to me, Kaylee Caswell. She is a university student in Arizona. We will lose her next week. She's been all summer with us. In addition to that, she is a fire kid. And just for the students in the audience, or perhaps listening folks at home, if you're interested in interning with one of the council folks, please contact us about 2 months before school gets out. Send us your resume, and we will decide who the interns are. If you're a fire kid, you might get preference with me. If you're in Ward 4, you'll probably get preference from that councilwoman from Ward 5, excuse me. So I'm going to pass my slideshow on to Mrs. Caswell, so she can speak for the first time in a council meeting. Go ahead.
All right.
So the councilwoman and Ward 4 team are praying for the family, friends, and loved ones of the fallen officer in the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. Next, on Tuesday, July 21st, we recognize Lieutenant Braden Schrag for 22 years of dedicated service to the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department and the citizens of Southern Nevada. As a trusted partner of Councilwoman Alan Polinsky, she has seen his unwavering commitment to public safety and his lasting impact on the department. We congratulate Braden on his retirement and wish for continued health and happiness in his next chapter of life. Next, on Friday, July 24th, members of our team were glad to attend the Latin Chamber of Commerce event featuring Commissioner Chair Michael Naft, an expert panel to learn more about Nevada's outdoor economy. Ward 4 borders key outdoor assets, so understanding these economic trends helps us better serve our local small businesses. A huge thank you to our government affairs team for helping us informed. Next, the following Monday, July 27th, Councilwoman Alan Polinsky had a wonderful chat with El Nuevo Mundo about local government, small businesses, and projects happening in Ward 4. Next, on Tuesday, July 28th, Councilwoman Alan Polinsky and our team went down to a busy intersection on Schaumburg and Hualapai to see the newly installed speed limit signs. After we were informed by residents in the surrounding area how busy this intersection was, we asked for a traffic study to be done. And in fact, it was extremely busy, so the Transportation Engineering Division took action to lower the speed limits, one on Schaumburg Road to Hualapai Way from 45 miles per hour to 35 miles per hour, another one on Hualapai Way to Durango Drive from 45 miles per hour to 40 miles per hour, and another on Durango Drive to Grand Monsiento Parkway from 40 miles per hour to 35 miles per hour. With these new adjustments, we hope to make these intersections safer for pedestrians and residents in the area. Next, calling all high school students. There's a unique opportunity for you to make a lasting impact on your community. Join our City of Las Vegas Youth Advisory Council for all kinds of experiences, including collaborating with our council members, getting a special insight on civic engagement, and influence local leaders to create change. Scan the QR code posted on the flyer to apply today. We're excited to see you there. Next, take a moment to look at these faces on the slide. 12 teens are still missing from our community. If you recognize any of them or have any information that could help, please contact LVMPD Missing Persons Detail at 702-828-3111. If you're a runaway youth or know someone who may be at risk, help is available. The National Runway Safe Line offers free confidential support 24/7 at 1-800-786-2929 or online at 1-800-runway.org. Next, you can stay up to date with our updates, community news, and upcoming events happening in Ward 4 by following Councilwoman Alan Polinsky on Facebook, Instagram, and X at Francis Loves NV. You can also subscribe to our newsletter by texting LV Ward 4 to 1-833-365-9053. If you ever need assistance or have any questions, please reach out to our office directly at 702-229-2524. Our team and councilmen are always here to help.
Well done. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and happy birthday to Councilwoman Summers Armstrong, and then also happy birthday to Councilwoman Kelly. One had a birthday yesterday, then next she's having one tomorrow. So I'm very happy. We're going to be all birthdayed out after this meeting. It is also with a heavy heart that we just pray for the family of the fallen officer, and we're just so sad that that happened, and we lost someone who was stepping up to serve and protect us. But all we can do is just wish that it doesn't happen in the future. All right, we're going to get started with the first thing that I have to share with you all was my Veterans Treatment Court graduation attendance on July 16th. It was an honor to witness the graduation ceremony of 6 veterans who completed the rigorous Veterans Treatment Court program led by Judge Matt Walker. There was a true village of community members in attendance to celebrate the new chapter for all of these service members' future lives. And we wish all of the men the best as they reintegrate into our community and the workforce. On July 20th, we're just gonna slide through this one because the councilwoman already mentioned it, but we were in attendance at the Nevada Housing Policy Forum. And as Usual for the mayor, for this council, it's very important that our residents have attainable and affordable housing spaces and places to call home. So we were trying to get nuggets of how to move the needle on that front. On July 28th, the mayor and I attended the poker room opening at the Golden Nugget, and we got to celebrate. And something that I picked up that day, Mayor, is that it's the only poker room we have in the entire downtown Las Vegas. So I was like, if you like poker and you want to come downtown, go to the Golden Nugget. I know it'll become a fast favorite for all the poker game lovers. On July 25th, the Ward 3 office had a summer splash at Baker Park Pool, and I just want to thank all the Ward 3 families who joined us for this very toasty, hot Saturday, July 25th. We had an incredible time. It was wonderful to see so many families enjoying a fun-filled day. They didn't let the heat stop them from having an awesome pool party. So don't fret if you missed this one. We are hosting another Labor Day pool party on Saturday, September 5th at our Martinez Hall pool adjacent Freedom Park. Next slide is our Ward 3 back to school fair that was held this past weekend on July, what was this past weekend? August 1st. Yeah. That date is off. Thank you to everyone who joined us for that back to school fair, and especially our sponsors who made it possible. We can't do these events without the sponsorships, without the community partners, without the volunteers, and all of the incredible staff at East Las Vegas Community Center. We helped hundreds of students head back to school prepared and ready to learn with notebook paper, pencils, erasers, you name it, they got a little bit of everything. So wishing all of the students, teachers, families, everyone involved in our educational process a very safe, successful, and amazing next school year. On July, and remember, school starts on next Monday, the 10th, so please watch your speed on our roadways. We will all have to adhere to our speed limits starting on Monday. July 30th, my office, Ward 3, got to meet our new set of Cristo Rey interns. It's about our 5th or 6th year of having them aboard with us to help the mayor and the entire council throughout their school year. So excited to meet. We're gonna have Isabela back for her senior year. We met Ezio, who's the freshman, Silvana, who's a sophomore, and Daniela, who's a junior. So you all will get to know them throughout the rest of the upcoming weeks. Things coming up on Main Street closure at Charleston Boulevard, August 10th through August 28th. So Mike Cunningham just gave us a presentation about how painful these storm drain projects can be, but we do want you to be aware that Casino Center will continue to be closed on the south side of Charleston Boulevard through August 7th. Main Street will be closed on the south side of Charleston Boulevard from August 10th through August 28th, so we do have to plan our routes and our trips accordingly. Just brace yourselves, but if we give ourselves some time and we kind of navigate around the work, we can get to where we need to go. And the Arts District is definitely waiting for everyone to go have an awesome time at so many of the offerings down there. Next, Project Reach Senior Expo is happening August 18th and throughout the 27th. So if you look at the dates and the times, it tells you where, it tells you when. And if you are 62 years or older and need help paying your electric, gas, water, or sewer bill, United Way of Southern Nevada's Project Reach Senior Expo, powered by Nevada Energy, may be able to offer you assistance. So call that number with any questions. Just down to, we already put a plug, but this is just another plug for the Labor Day pool party coming up Saturday, September 5th, noon to 4 at the Martinez Hall Family Pool adjacent Freedom. Next slide, we have free trees. It is in our city's master plan to plant 60,000 trees by 2050. And if you live in the city of Vegas limits and have the zip codes 89101, 89102, 89104, 106, 107, 110, we have a free tree for you. So learn more about this free tree program. We do it, we're gonna get to the 60,000 by having homeowners and property owners helping us get to that amount. And so just feel free to scan that QR code or call 702-229-6899 to find out more about that program. And as usual, my entire office and staff are willing and able and ready to take your call, your email, and you can also scan to sign up for our newsletter to keep you apprised of any goodies and offerings in our community. Thank you so much, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much. Ms. Rooney.
Thank you. A few weeks ago, we were delighted to celebrate the grand opening of Beale Henderson Point, an affordable housing community at Rancho and Duncan Drive. Thank you to the Michaels organization for building this stunning community that this community deserves. It was also meaningful to hear from the families of Alversa Beals and Essie Henderson, for whom the community is named. We honored their legacies of labor reform, improving access to healthcare, and community development. Our youth pickleball series was a smashing success. Youth ages 12 to 24 of all skill levels played pickleball at the Centennial Hills YMCA in the evenings. Thank you to our partners, Centennial Hills YMCA, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, the Northwest Area Command, and Southern Nevada Pickleball Association for supporting this event series. I am honored to have been selected as Secretary of the Southern Nevada Health District Board. Thank you to my colleague, Councilman Summers Armstrong, for your support. Late last month, we spent the morning with Shine a Light, their team, in the city's tunnels doing outreach to our unhoused neighbors. By the end of the morning, 8 individuals agreed to connect with services. I am looking forward to more Saturday mornings with this powerful team. Our most recent Connect Her series was Unwinding. We played some 80s-inspired trivia games while enjoying refreshments and great conversation. Sign up for our newsletter to find out more about next month's event as part of our Connector series. We have some exciting events planned for the rest of the year. Last week, we were pleased to visit with Minority Whip Catherine Clark to discuss the 21st Century Road to Housing Act, highlight the good work of the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority, and discuss our region's desperate need for additional housing vouchers. After a hard work of week, we hosted our Splash Back to School, which is a fun community celebration complete with swimming, youth performances, a movie screening, ice cream, food trucks, and vendors. Thank you to everyone who came out, and a huge shout out to Centennial Hills Y for partnering with us to make it happen. Congratulations to Jeff Dorkek, our city attorney, on being named the Legal Aid Center's Pro Bono Volunteer of the Month. He also serves on the boards of Nevada Legal Services of Southern Nevada and the Southern Nevada Senior Law Program. His commitment to expanding access to justice and serving our most vulnerable neighbors is inspiring. We're very lucky to have him, a true public servant. I know many of our families are busy getting their kids ready to go back to school, but don't forget we have some great events coming up that you won't want to miss. First, next Wednesday from 8:30 to 10 a.m., we'll have our quarterly small business breakfast at the Centennial Hills Active Adult Center. We'll have speakers from Applied Analysis giving businesses an economic outlook. Please RSVP so we can make sure we have enough breakfast tacos for you. Next, on Thursday, August 13th, we have our monthly Bocaditos with Bruni at our Centennial Hills Y satellite office from 9 to 11 a.m. And then on Friday, back by popular demand, we're doing our Critters of the Night walk from 7 to 8:30 p.m. at Floyland Park. We'll be joined by the Nevada Department of Wildlife, who will give us a tour of the critters that come out at night. We did this last year. I learned more about bats than I ever wanted to, but I will tell you they're super fascinating creatures, and I have new respect for them. As always, we want to hear from you. Call us at 702-229-5463 or email us at ward6@lasvegasnevada.gov. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Councilwoman Kelly, we also want to wish you a very, very happy birthday. And why don't you bring us home?
Luann and I, our city clerk, were at the grand opening of the Secretary of State's office. Now, you may not see yourself there, for those of you who were there, and that's because after the outside comments, Luann and I followed everybody, and we stood patiently waiting in line while unbeknownst to us, the ribbon cutting was going on. So we made sure to memorialize that by taking that picture. So to the Secretary of State, we were there to support you. I know Mayor Pro Tem and the mayor made it in. I don't know who else made it in, but it wasn't us. So we were very proud to be there to support him. And I, of course, didn't want to be left out. So in the next slide, I'm happy to tell you I too was on the Just One project.
We all have that same picture.
Yes, I think I didn't know that everybody had been on, so I hope I didn't repeat what everybody had said. But I was pleased to be the one who brought it home, Mayor. And so there's a second page too. But Brooke is a lovely interviewer, and it was a nice time, and I'm so impressed by all the work that they do, her energy and inspiration. And then Mimi, who works for her, she and I went to Valley High School together. So go Vikings. And then we have our quarterly breakfast buzz coming up this month on the 22nd, and at the Veterans Memorial Community Center from 9 to 10 a.m. And we're going to be focusing on fraud for and there's always something new. I don't know how many loans you've also been contacted about that were pre-approved, but I feel like I get 5 a day, and I haven't applied for any. And then I'm super excited to be with the kiddos of Ward 2. I use kiddos because that's what Dr. Malich calls them, and I love that phrase, Dr. Malich. And for movie night, Zootopia, which I have seen, and I will see again. So please, if you are around the neighborhood of Ward 2 Memorial Center, come join us. And that's all I have. I'm sure there's going to be lots of fun to be had this weekend for Kara Kelly's birthday, but I won't be bringing those pictures.
Well, again, a very happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
The city council meeting is adjourned.